we have got to stop being productive. I mean, that is just taking away so much time from watching reels. I make it a point that I don't do anything productive during my day. But I mean, I watch reels, which I mean is just watching reels is productive. I would say so, because you laugh when you watch reels, which is that's really good. But rule number one: how to watch reels. Stop being productive. Stop being productive. So how do we watch more reels? I think the first thing that we all need to do is eliminate distractions. Now, distractions vary by who, what your life looks like. But for me, food, lunchtime, mealtime, anything like that, to no go. If it takes time away from me watching reels, then I'm just not going to do it. Rule number two is going to be to always have a charger on hand. This is the worst. I'm sure you know this. The worst thing ever when you're trying to watch. You've been on for 6 or 7 hours watching reels. You've still got a long time to go, and then all of a sudden you realize your phone battery's low. You look around, you don't have a charger. We have to avoid those kind of situations. So simple. Rule two: have a charger. Maybe three if you have to. Get a backpack full of them and carry them around with you. I mean, do what you got to do so that we don't run into that kind of problem. So what I tell a lot of my students who are asking me how do I watch more reels is it's a really good practice to warm up on TikTok first. I know it kind of sounds like counterintuitive, but to get on TikTok first and really kind of get the scrolling motion down, get your brain going, I guess, is very beneficial for when you make the transition over to reels and you start getting the really quality content. I've seen a huge growth spurts when I do this in the amount of time I'm able to watch reels for, if I have warmed up on TikTok first. So it's stay in bed. My team and I, we've conducted a couple tests, and then we have proven that if you're in bed, your RPM, your reels per minute, is going to be substantially higher than if you were on the go or you've gone out to the living room on a couch or something along those lines. So it's very important that we don't get out of the bed in the morning, or we go to bed early and get on our phones, get on reels, get to scrolling. But yeah, staying in bed has been really key for me the past couple of weeks. So I kind of wanted to share that with all of you. So class, I considered not saying this one because I feel like it's kind of obvious. Kevin Gates was talking about it a long time ago, so I don't know if we really need to go over it. But for those of you that don't understand what I'm talking about, having two phones for each of your hands to be going through reels is super important. I think the one thing that a lot of people come to me and ask, like, how do I fix this? It's difficult to discern when to be looking at one screen. So I've kind of gotten into a habit of when I'm scrolling with my right, I'm looking at my left, and then I scroll and look over. So it's kind of there's never a time when I'm not watching a reel. So I'm not actually having to waste that time and seeing it scroll to the next one. So yeah, I think if you haven't already gotten two phones, then I would really make sure that you do that. All right, class. So today we're going to learn about not blinking. This is not a rookie level tip here. So if you're kind of new to reels or something, I would go ahead and skip to the next video and get back to watching reels. But for us pros out there, no blinking is key, because so much time is lost when we're scrolling through reels and we have to blink. Now it's tough. I'll admit I had about a 20-minute run yesterday where I didn't blink, and this is the first time that I've been able to see since then. But those 20 minutes were extremely worth it. The amount of reels I was able to watch in those 20 minutes was amazing. So it's homework. I would try it out for a little bit. And tomorrow in class we'll see how everyone fared. We have got to get our TVs on and playing reels. I can't even begin to tell you the amount of people that come to me like, Aaron, how do I watch more reels? And I'm like, well, is your TV on? Is it playing reels? They're like, no, why would I need that? And I'm like, well, sometimes you're watching reels and you accidentally glance away, and we don't want that. But if that happens, we hopefully we'll have a TV on that's playing reels and we'll catch our vision and we'll just keep watching reels. So yeah, this is something I've been doing for a long time. I really think it's helpful. I've actually had some experts disagree that quitting your job to watch reels is not a good idea, but granted, they kind of make a couple good points. They're like, you need money to eat and live, and I'm like, well, yeah, but I can't just sacrifice 40 hours a week and not be able to watch reels. Like, I'm not, frankly, I don't know how you are able to do that. So I think it's imperative that we quit our jobs, and I think you make enough money to where you can buy a couple phones, buy a couple chargers, somehow get electricity, but then once you get that, I mean, what else do you really need? We just cannot afford to have our internet go out and not have good cell service. So that's why I suggest that we all kind of move to a cell tower, buy some hammocks, and string them up on the thing, because that kind of just guarantees that we'll have no lag, no ping. We'll just be able to immediately, whenever we need. What's really taken me to the next level with watching Reels over the last couple of months has been doing some thumb workouts. Now, I'll go to the gym, and it's a lot of dumbbell and barbell type exercises, kind of like sort of like a bench press and stuff like that. But I've seen a massive improvement in how I'm able to watch Reels. There's been a couple times where I've actually, I swiped up and it scrolled past 3 or 4 of them, because I was scrolling so hard, which isn't ideal, but just kind of having that longevity where I can scroll for hours and hours and hours and not get tired is really key. I would highly recommend putting up blackout curtains in your room. And I know you're probably like, Aaron, you don't have blackout curtains right here. Well, this is my classroom. This is where I teach. In my room, I've got blackout curtains because when I'm in bed scrolling on Reels, in the past when I haven't had blackout curtains, I'll start to see the sunlight, and I'm like, man, I should probably go out there and touch grass. But that just takes away from my real times, and it's a kind of a bad, what's the word? It's like a bad influence, I guess you could say. So I haven't seen sunlight in that room in ages, which has been really good for my reel watching. Make sure you're really paying attention to this one, because this is something that a ton of people overlook. I go to the gym and I hear people, their headphones are blasting rap music, rock music, whatever, trying to get themselves amped up to hit their PR. And then they go home and they try to hit their PR in Reels, and the room is silent. Does that make any sense to anybody? I don't think so. So, get some speakers, play some music, do whatever you can to just. When I'm sitting there playing Reels, I've got the music, playing not too loud because I want to be able to hear the Reels themselves, but I'm like, let's go, and I'm scrolling through. I've been watching Reels for 75 hours straight. And getting a little tired, but gotta keep watching them. People have been asking me, should I sleep or should I watch Reels? And how are you gonna watch Reels if you're asleep? So, I really took a lot of inspiration from the WALL-E movie. I think some of those people in the beginning scenes on the ship, they're some of my heroes. So I actually have purchased the first WALL-E prototype chair. It's going to be here in a couple months. So I'm really hoping that once I get that, I can try it out and see how it is with watching Reels, having food next to me and whatnot. But then once it's available to the mass market, I would highly encourage all of you to purchase it along with me. A couple months ago, my girlfriend, she was like, Aaron, can you please get a job, stop watching Reels all day, and do something with your life? And I looked at her and I was like, yeah, we're done. And that was it. I couldn't have that kind of bad influence on my life. Now, I would say the only exception to this is if you're in a relationship with someone that likes Reels at least as much as you do, or even more. So they're kind of sending you more Reels. I think that's the only time that such a thing would be appropriate. We have to delete every other app on our phone. I don't understand, honestly, why you would have a phone if it's not to go on Instagram and watch Reels. I've seen this as a pitfall for a lot of people. They're like, oh no, it's not, it's not going to bother me having other apps. I'm not going to look at it. I'm only going to stay on Reels. And what do you know? A couple hours later, they're, well, let me see what Snapchat has to offer, and they get off Reels, and at that point, all is lost. So, delete every other app on your phone except for Instagram. You'll be in a much better position. We cannot be wasting our time liking posts or liking Reels, I guess is a better way to put it. Why do we even need to like them in the first place? Like, if I like the Reel, then I'm just be like, man, I like that. I don't need to waste my time pressing a button wasting precious time that I could be watching the next reel in line. I mean, take out, you're scrolling for 10 hours, you say, take out liking posts. That's probably 30 minutes worth of time you're going to get back, which is equivalent to hundreds of reels. So we have to stop liking posts and reels. It's a terrible habit that we're all in. I see people all the time, they're watching a reel in one hand and eating regular food in the other. And I'm just like, what are you even doing? Like, get a Lunchly and get a Prime and eat those. Because, I mean, I've run a couple studies, and, if you're eating Lunchly, or if your diet consists only of Lunchly and Prime, you're much better at, well, a lot of stuff, but mainly you're much better at reeling, So I think it's just super important that we go to Costco. I don't know if they sell them at Costco. We got to buy them in bulk. That's what I'm trying to get to. Buy as many Lunchly. If I've learned anything about how to watch more reels over the past 10 or so years, it has been that the more Lunchables you throw away, the more reels you end up watching. And I know you're probably like, what in the world? That doesn't even make any sense at all. It really doesn't make sense, but it works. With Lunchly coming to the local grocery stores, I've gone on a Lunchable raid. I'll go there and buy a bunch and throw them all away because Lunchly is so much better. And somehow that boosts my. It's almost like it's kind of like you kind of get like a superpower when you're watching reels, if that makes any sense. I actually don't know if this works or not, replacing your local water tower with a Prime tower to watch more reels, but I found this scroll the other day, and it said if you want to watch more reels, then replace your local water tower with a Prime tower. So I'm about halfway through. I've been flushing out the regular water, and I've been buying a bunch of Prime bottles to fill it back up when it's done. So I guess I'll just let you guys know what happens when I completely finish, but